Two girls, one podcast, and their unsolicited opinions.
Plug in your headphones or find a private space because this content is not safe for work.
Welcome to On Her Bookshelf.
Welcome back, Bookshelf Besties. My name is Julia.
And I'm Kristie.
This episode, we're actually talking about Little Stranger by Leigh Rivers. And I am incredibly biased towards it because the voice actors, Heather Firth, they did a phenomenal job. And absolutely, it was an experience.
It was a cinematic experience. That's what it was. It was a cinematic experience for our ear holes.
For our ear holes. Yeah, sure. We'll put it that way. Kristie read the book and then listened to the audiobook once it was released. Because I think the audio's only been out a week or two now.
It came out February 14th.
Oh, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so cute.
We do have a quick heads up for our listeners. Our discussion today is going to touch on some sensitive topics and taboo topics. So please be mindful of any content or trigger warnings while we discuss the themes of this book.
The characters are foster siblings, not blood related, but are raised together. If you are comfortable with heavy somnophilia, CNC, dubious consent, drugging, branding, choking with other kinks like brother-sister kink, knife play, primal play, blood play, pain, screwdriver, fear, light breathing, anal, and spider play.
I think each of those content warnings that you listed out just kind of like brought me back to those points in the book, and it just had my like eyes twitching ever so slightly. And like always, your mental health matters. Mm-hmm. If this book is not for you, that's okay.
Yeah. But if it is...
Oh boy.
If it maybe...
Oh brother.
Or if it tickles your fancy, I don't know, intrigues you a little, this book might be for you.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's so hard to say. If you're interested in those plot points, and this book might be for you, because we're literally talking about foster siblings today.
It's fine, they're not blood related. It's fine.
Audiobook was like 5 hours, so
Easy.
We easily listened to it in like a day together, which was actually quite fun, listening to an audiobook at the same time with you, but at the same time also kind of weird.
It was weird. Like, sitting, like, apart from each other, but, like, earphone each. And I remember just, like, some parts just kind of being like, how's she reacting? How should I react?
But it was also just knowing there was honestly porn happening in my ear.
Oh, it's like we watched porn together!
We listened to porn. The voice actors did such a good job. And I think, because like I said before, I have only listened to the audio, I haven't read the physical book. I don't know how I would have interpreted the writing if I had just solely read it.
Yeah.
But the audio was a solid 4 stars for me.
Okay.
4 stars.
Yeah.
I just...
You took off a star because of the brother sister, didn't you?
I did.
I knew it.
I knew what I was getting myself into, but I feel like I was really enjoying the audiobook, but then when it came to a moment, they were literally doing it and then saying, oh brother, or oh sister, like, it just made me cringe. Leigh Rivers, you nailed that trope.
Oh boy, yeah.
But Spice, solid 5 out of 5. It was hot. Oh, which is so awful.
It's fine. It's fine. No judgment here. No judgment here. If you're gonna judge, go away. But anyway, this book is broken up into 2 parts. Part 1 is told by Olivia, and part 2 by Malachi.
Yes, so Olivia and Malachi are our main female and main male characters, and like we have said before, they are foster siblings. Mm-hmm. So not blood related, but they have grown up together.
Yeah.
And they're the Vize. They're the Vize children.
Yeah. So the story actually spans over 20 years. As you said, they grew up together. So it starts when Olivia is 7 and Malachi is 8.
I don't know if that made it better or worse, having that little behind the scenes introduction on how they met and hearing like Olivia's child voice, because something important to point out here is Malachi is actually, I think he's mute by choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we actually get a lot of like ASL and sign language representation, and Malachi has also been diagnosed with
ASPD.
That's the one.
Antisocial personality disorder.
Yes. So we do have a little bit of representation there, but I can't say that the parents handled this disability at all.
These parents are fucked.
No. You know what? I have some bones to pick with their mother.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. It's fine. Okay. I've written notes. With Malachi being mute, it is, like you said, selective. It's because he suffered a really traumatic past. He refuses to speak. He hasn't spoken since he was 5. He just doesn't speak at all. The only way he can communicate is, through his hands. Which is cool. I really liked that aspect of the book. That, sign language was a big thing. Like,
having a mute character.
I love that so much. Like, the representation. And, like, even while I was, like, listening or reading, like, some of the words, because I know a little bit of sign language, I was just like, oh, so they're doing that. I know what they're doing. Like, little nugget. I was just like, I really like this.
Yeah, I agree on that. I'm just tying it back to the...
And Heather Firth, first time listening to her, and she was fucking excellent. I hated Olivia's character before getting into this. I hated her. But I really enjoyed Heather's portrayal of this character.
Yeah. See, I didn't hate Olivia at all. Maybe that's the difference in you having read the book and me only having the audio.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that.
She's just annoying. She's just annoying.
Okay, I somewhat understand.
Yeah.
But the voice actors did such a good job that I don't hate Olivia's character.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So yeah, while we do have the representation in the book and it's a beautiful portrayal, keep in mind this book is really dark. It is twisted. It is fucked up. It is a whole bunch of emotions, and it's absolutely filthy.
Yes. So I am interrupting you ever so slightly here. Yeah, I've read That Sick Love. I thought that was fucked up. I feel like this one tops it.
Really?
Yes. Well, you gotta remember as well, I rated like That Sick Love like a 3-star. I think it was. But at the same time, you listen to the audiobook, whereas I read it. We've done an episode with That Sick Love, and that book was fucked up. But I feel like when it comes to dark and twisted things, this one for me was just that little bit more. And I've also read Haunting Adeline.
Yeah.
And I feel like dark and twisted, this one was fucking up there.
Yeah, it was actually.
Yes.
Now that you put it out there,
Yes.
I'm comparing like little bits, and I'm like, okay.
Gun, screwdriver.
Crucifix, screwdriver.
No. Crucifix, spider.
So, these characters.
Yes.
These two, the way to put it in like one sentence, they're the living definition of trauma bonding.
Yeah. I feel like with their relationship and them falling in love, it felt very Stockholm Syndrome. And like, I know for a fact one wasn't kidnapped and the other wasn't like a captive. But I think just them being in the same house, literally trapped within the walls, like they didn't choose this family. They both come from like fucked up and traumatic pasts, and like you said, they're trauma bonding. And I think with them trauma bonding and being in this safe space and being so close in age as well,
it was inevitable.
Yes.
It was going to happen one way or the other. I definitely picked up that vibe as well.
Yeah, and
especially how the parents handled like them first being introduced and like putting them in the same room and like I don't know, that
I thought weird. They had this really big house, like they were the Vize children, and the Vize like last name was prestigious, and they had money. Why put these two kids in the same room, especially a boy and a girl.
Yeah, that was weird.
I would understand if maybe it was, say, two sisters or two brothers sharing a room, but a boy and a girl, especially non-blood related siblings.
Yeah.
And at such a influential age as well. So inevitable that something was going to happen between them.
Like, I'm surprised that their parents were surprised.
It's another strike against the parents.
Literally.
Here,
Yeah, so you rated 4 stars?
4 stars. So I gave the book 4 stars, and yes, you did hit the nail on the head before. It was just the fact that they were... they're not blood related. I'm going to say this a lot on that episode. But it was the fact that while they were fucking, and I was, like, thoroughly enjoying the audiobook, and I was, like, getting into the story... And then they were like, yes, big brother, or yes, little sister. And I was
like, take that dig, little sister. Like,
I was like, enjoying the book, gagging.
But then you move past it, it's fine. It's okay, you just pretend it didn't happen.
Just reminding myself, not blood related. But they obviously have a brother-sister kink. Yeah. And they played into that brother-sister kink while they were banging. And I just couldn't get past that.
Yeah.
But I loved the story overall. The spice, like I said, I still gave the spice 5 stars despite giving the book 4 stars for the fact that it was one of the kinks that was giving me the ick. But I knew going into this book what I was going to expect. I just couldn't give it that last star. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I give it 5 out of 5 for both. I've got you. I'll give it 6 stars. It's fine. I fucking loved it. I loved when I read the book. I loved it. I ate that fucking shit up. But then listening to it was just...
like next level?
I just want to listen to it again. It was just so fucking good. It was so fucking good. A bit about the storyline. So, they obviously grow up together. They become close. They're sleeping in the same room every night. They actually share the same bed. They hold each other. It starts off as innocent and cute. They're trauma bonding. I will say that so many times. And Malachi would protect her at any cost. Like, he sees her as his. Like, she's mine. So yeah, we actually get a lot of cute moments, like when Olivia learns sign language so she can actually speak with him and understand what he's saying. I thought that was fucking adorable, especially for a young kid to learn this. But also there's like a scene where she learns happy birthday on the piano for him, like for his birthday.
I liked that a lot.
So cute. But things start to muddle a little bit. Like,
yeah, I think it
as
was...
they get older.
They were playing a
board game.
Family board game. Yeah, it was like family game night, and either Malachi or Olivia had just won, and when they celebrated, they actually kissed, and they kissed in front of their foster parents, and the foster parents, look, they did immediately shut it down, and I think it was after that Olivia started to have her own room, and they were keeping them separate on other sides of the house.
The children, they don't know what's wrong. They haven't been taught otherwise.
Yes.
So even though they do get separated, they do actually still sneak into each other's rooms. They like climb out of the window and like escape into the other's room sort of thing. There's like a ledge.
Yeah, it's talked about that they put their lives at risk each night to go and see each other because their parents would keep them apart. So that's how I kind of saw it in my mind, was that they didn't really have a balcony, but there was enough of like a roof awning kind of thing that they could just walk across.
Like, still dangerous, but they obviously don't fall, so...
Yes.
And, like, even then, it's still, like, innocent. Like, nothing's happening. They just hold each other every night. Like, it's just... that's their comfort thing. It's kind of like a nightlight. That's the way I kind of saw it.
That's fair. Like, they've grown up in the same room. They've had each other as comfort in this new place. And now they've just been separated. Yeah. And they're like, I guess their comfort blanket isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Don't. They're foster siblings that fuck.
And it's so cute. Okay, no, don't fuck yet, so. But yeah, it doesn't actually start muddling until Olivia's 18 and Malachi's 19. So
Was it 18 and 19? I thought it
Yeah.
was earlier than that.
No, that's like the little thing that stuck in my head was at least they waited till she was 18 till it started getting sexual. Like,
you did good here.
At least it got to the consent age. It's fine. But yeah, that's when they kind of start to notice their forbidden attraction and I guess test the waters.
So this is where they start having lessons, right? I can't quite remember how the lessons started. I just remember that Olivia was teaching Malachi things.
Yeah. So it actually starts... There's like a scene where they're cuddling in bed and they wake up in the morning and I think he's got like wood or something.
That's
and
right. They're spooning and she can feel it against her back.
And then she ends up like touching his dick and he's kind of like, don't stop. But like, what are you doing? You're my sister. And it just kind of progresses from there.
No, see, I thought he was asleep.
Yeah.
And
well,
she
thought he was asleep.
She thought he was asleep and she was like rubbing her backside, like grinding on him a little bit. Like, oh, this shouldn't feel so good, but it feels so good and I don't want to stop, but I should stop. And he's definitely still asleep. Yes, he doesn't know that I'm doing this. It's fine. But he was actually awake.
Yeah, that's how the lessons start. So she can teach him moves so when he gets his first girlfriend, he's not inexperienced.
He knows how to please a woman then.
Because it's like, this is actually where we find out that she is experienced.
Yes.
This is where things get fucked up.
Yeah, and it's like not even just fucked up by the fact that it's foster siblings. It's the mum that I feel like is the most fucked up out of everything.
Oh, she is.
Here.
She's so fucked up. Like, at least the dad in the end, like, I was just like...
The dad redeemed himself in the end.
Yeah, but the mum, nah. Piece of shit. Piece of actual
trash.
shit. How did you get custody of children?
Yes, because what we discover through this book is that the mum is actually trying to marry off Olivia to try and, I don't know, secure wealth or secure
and like
some
family name.
Yeah, that's why we keep going on like their vices, you know?
You've got to play the part. You've got to...
So it's just like, was Olivia only fostered for this end goal of being married off? Because the parents don't actually have any blood, like, children of their own.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking maybe the parents could never have kids, so they started fostering because it's easier than adopting, and that's how they got their hands on a daughter so that they could marry and try and form alliances. And it just makes me feel like Olivia was just a pawn at like her mother's dispense.
Oh, definitely. We actually find out that Olivia's mum paid a guy named Parker, like his family, to take Olivia's virginity. So then when they do marry her off, at least she's not inexperienced. She knows what she's doing when she marries. What the
I know. It's like her mother was like, no one's going to want you if you're a virgin. But yeah, so that's the bit that I just couldn't grasp onto, was the fact that her mum heavily involved in her life, that she took it amongst herself to find a boy to sell off her daughter's virginity to. It's weird to think about, but it also adds on to what exactly is happening within this house and how such a dynamic between two foster siblings end up coming together. Because they're not only trauma bonding from their past, but they're now trying to survive these new parents that they have.
No, definitely.
And I mean, could you imagine being a teenage girl and having a mother like this? Your views on men and sex and love and dating, they're skewed from the beginning. Like, she didn't even have a chance to develop a normal relationship at all.
No, or even a normal life. Like, this is what she had been signed up for, and this is how her life will go. Weird, fucking fucked up mom. And anyway, when Malachi finds out that this happened, he didn't know. He goes obviously ballistic. He sees Olivia as his.
Yeah, this is where we start to kind of get an insight into Malachi being overprotective and possessive.
Oh yeah, a whole nother level of possessive. This is also where we find out that the dad didn't know anything about any of this. And it actually causes fights between the parents.
I'm surprised he didn't leave her at that point.
I know, like, what the fuck? But whatever, moving on, plot, I guess. Malachi ends up letting her teach him, I guess. He wants to know what she likes. This is actually where we get some fucking spicy scenes.
And the best part is, so I know we've talked about Zoe Maxwell in the past. She's our tattoo artist. But quite recently, she's starting to do a lot of
commission spicy art.
Yeah, not safe for work, spicy art for a lot of indie authors. Mm-hmm. And she did some, NSFW scenes for this book. So we get artwork like this. Absolute perfect portrayal of what we were listening to or reading. So, of course, we do read a lot of scenes in books where he goes down on her. But I think the fact that she was standing, they were in a shower, he was on his knees, there was just something about it. And it was one of those moments where I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm listening to. And then she's like, yes, big brother. And I'm like, I can't. It was an experience.
It definitely was an experience. So yeah, they keep doing their lessons, they learn things, they do things.
I want to actually add on to like this lesson part here. I really liked how Leigh Rivers, I guess, developed their relationship, because yes, they were foster brother, sister, they grew up in the same house, but the fact that this story spanned over like a 20-year time frame, we got to experience, yes, them meeting, and then the innocent moments where they didn't know any better, but then finally, like, when the waters were muddled, we actually got to experience their relationship developing and how exactly they progressed to what they were doing. I liked it. It was cringy, but I liked it.
I loved it. Oh, this is going on. The foster mum is still setting her up on dates, finding suitors, trying to find that man to marry her off to. And, Parker's a piece of shit. Parker is just like, yeah, why don't you just sleep with my friends?
Oh,
like, he tries to palm her off.
That's
like,
right.
He can suck his dick and stuff, and it's just fucking gross. And
he was literally trying to be like, yeah, whatever, you can have sex with her if you want. She'll suck your dick. Like, she'll do it.
It's ooh, so gross. And anyway, obviously she's panicking. She's like, where is this going to go? So she ends up texting Malachi her location and nothing else. She doesn't get a chance. Just her location. And this fucking guy, he shows up with masks, his buddies, and some baseball bats. And he goes to fucking town on these guys for trying to harm his sister.
Like, this was actually, I liked about Malachi. Yes, he was a bit OTT, like, possessive. But he was someone that she could rely on. Mum wasn't going to come back and save her.
No.
She went to the one person she could definitely rely on, and that was Malachi.
Yeah, her protector. Even though Olivia is, teaching him, and she obviously wants it, he doesn't think any better. She's still got those, you hear her thoughts, she's still got those doubts, like, no, he's my brother, I shouldn't be thinking this way.
Nobody else's siblings are like this. Like, she's grown up and she's realised that what they're doing is not normal.
Yeah. She kind of, not backs away, but really pushes it, like, we shouldn't be doing this. And Malachi's just like, no.
And at the same time, she's like, you're good. Like, you've had all your lessons. You know what you're doing now. You don't need me anymore.
Yeah, go find a girlfriend. Go use your experience.
Yes. So Malachi actually does go on a date. And Olivia discovers this through overhearing some girls in the locker room one day at school. But they don't realise that she's listening. And you kind of get a little bit behind the experience on what their life was like at school, because these girls were gossiping about, Malachi, and he was like the hot dude with the dark hair, but he was a mute, like he was a freak. And these girls had like this competition to see if they could get a date with Malachi, and then if they slept with him, to see if they could get Malachi to know their name.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting.
It's fucking gross. It's so fucking gross. And anyway, this chick, who's supposed to be Olivia's friend, by the way, blabs that she slept with him.
I feel like the way that Olivia reacted in this scene was as if she'd been cheated on. It's one of those moments where the waters are definitely muddled in her head, because her and Malachi didn't have a relationship, but they were like experimenting with one another sexually.
Yeah. It was definitely double standards, because he hadn't done anything with anyone, and she, mind you, she didn't really have much of a choice in her decision, but she had done things, and Malachi didn't really react in this way. So this is where I kind of was just like, Olivia, what are you doing? Just at least calm down a little bid and listen.
Yes.
But she doesn't. She loses it. She actually calls Malachi, which is weird, because he could answer, but he can't talk. Like, and she knows it. She even hear her thoughts, that she just wants to say what she wants to say. She doesn't want to hear what he has to say. So she calls him, doesn't even ask him about any of it, just lets her emotions go wild, and she silences him. This pissed me the fuck off that she silenced him. He had no way to communicate and say, like, plead his case. Even if he had done something wrong, he didn't even get a chance to speak. And it just fucking pissed me off.
Yeah, I had a lot of sympathy for Malachi in this scene, because to silence him that way, to take
away his voice.
Oh, yes, because she chose to call him so that he didn't have a chance to say anything. So I think, like, from here, Olivia goes home and Malachi finds her.
Yeah, tries to
at
confront
home
her and speak to her. And
but again,
she closes her eyes.
She's closing her eyes. She's looking away. Does at one stage she like grabs his hands as well? Like, she does not want to listen to what he is trying to say, and it's okay. This is where I lost a little bit of respect for Olivia, because I'm like, give the guy a chance to speak, and what she was doing was just awful.
And how is he supposed to know it was wrong as well? Like, even if he had slept with this friend, how is he supposed to know this is wrong?
Yes, because she's been having sex with people.
Yeah, this whole thing.
Double standards.
I'm so fucking mad still. But yeah, he still keeps trying to communicate. He's trying to talk to her, plead his case, tell her that he did not do this, that this friend had fucking lied, and she still won't hear it. So he loses his shit. He has like an episode, essentially. Like, he, you know how you read in books, like, their vision darkened, they only see red, they're just so mad, they're so in that scene, and he gets to that stage and he ends up fucking her face, essentially.
He forces himself onto her.
Yeah.
This is where the consensual non-consent comes into play, and it's very questionable how things played out.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the most fucked up scenes in the entire book.
It gets worse.
I have never read anything like this.
I have. But it still fucking shocked me. Even while he's losing his shit and doing all of this, he's still just trying to show her with actions that she is his. And it progressively gets worse. He then eats her out on top of the stairs. He is hungry. He's a man on a mission. I was like, oh boy, okay.
He's using everything he learned in his lessons.
Yes. And this is when the dad comes home. And
I thought surely hearing the door open, they'll stop.
Nah, he keeps going. This man is on a mission.
So the dad has, like, come home, stumbled across his two kids
doing things they should not be doing. And he's seeing red, this dad. He's just like, get off my daughter. Like, he thinks Malachi's, like, having his way. Like,
he's trying to, like, pull Olivia away from Malachi. And Malachi is going to town on Olivia. So in one hand, we've got Olivia getting, like, yanked away by her dad, like, getting dragged across the floor, and Malachi's, like, holding on, like getting dragged with her.
He's still eating. This man, he is hungry. This is his last meal. He ain't stopping. And it keeps going, and then there actually gets to a point that Malachi gets mad for someone interrupting his meal. And he, like, pushes the dad down the stairs. And then he goes after the dad, and he fucking lays it into Papa Bear.
So the dad is knocked out. There's, like, blood going everywhere now, and Olivia
is screaming.
She's in shock. Like, she's like, this is my dad. Like, this is our dad.
Like,
what are you doing?
Stop. And he's still going. He's gonna kill this guy. Like, she's like crying over her dying dad. There's blood everywhere. Like, it's fucked up. It is so fucked up.
So then, of course, Malachi, instead of, like, maybe calling an ambulance or running away, what does he do, Kristie?
What does he do, Julia? He, bends his sister over, their dying dad, and, fucks her.
I couldn't.
He fucks her over their dying dad. There's blood everywhere. Yeah.
This is what I mean by I have never read a book this dark before. Because, yeah, I've read That Sick Love, I've read Haunting Adeline, you've read your fair share of, like, dark romance books as well, but never have I read a book where foster siblings fuck over their dying dad.
Yeah.
It was messed up. It was so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, Olivia is messy, she's got blood over her, and I'm pretty sure, like, Malachi finishes inside of her as well. And then once he was done,
she just looks at her brother, and it literally ends with, "Run, I'll give you a head start." That's the end of part 1. You don't know if the dad's alive, you don't know what's going to happen to Olivia, you don't know what's going to happen to Malachi. That's just how it ends.
We then get part 2, which jumps forward 8 years. Mm-hmm. And now it's told from Malachi's perspective. And we open with part 2, and Malachi has just gotten out of jail within, like, the last 6 months or so. So clearly he got caught for what he did to his dad, and he has done time now for what he's done. But part 2, we are now in Malachi's head. We are now getting full flowing sentences from Malachi.
Whole nother level.
And you know what? I think I really love crazy characters, especially when crazy characters are done well like this. So thank you, Leigh Rivers, for just creating such a crazy character for us to enjoy.
Yes, thank you.
So anyways, it's 8 years later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's out of jail. We start to learn some things. Like, the dad didn't die.
Mm-hmm. He's in a wheelchair.
Suffered, like, a really bad brain injury, and Olivia takes care of him.
We also learned that Olivia actually testified against Malachi 8 years ago. Malachi wants his revenge. Not even necessarily revenge against Olivia, but against the family, like the Vize family.
Yeah.
And we also learn that Malachi never slept with the friend. He was saving himself for Olivia. And this is why he was also hurt when he discovered Olivia wasn't saving herself for him.
So yeah, we learned that from Malachi's point of view, that she's moved on with her life. She's moved out of home, she has her own apartment, she has a job working with a mum, she's had boyfriends in the past.
Who mysteriously
disappeared.
Yeah, crazy, right?
So strange. I wonder where they went.
Through Malachi's perspective, we learn that Olivia is engaged. So clearly he's been keeping tabs on her, but not in the sane, I'm just going to check her social media kind of way. It's in the, I'm going to break into your house and keep a spare key, and also I'm going to drug your wine.
And put cameras everywhere and read your diary and go through everything in your life.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I moved in across the road, but you don't know that because I always wear a motorcycle helmet, so it's fine.
It's so fine!
So, yes, when I say we heard crazy being portrayed through Malachi's voice, we got crazy.
Oh yeah, big time crazy.
Mm-hmm. And through Malachi reading Olivia's text messages, reading her diary, we learn that Olivia has also kept up to date with Malachi. She knows that he's not in jail anymore, and she's confused on why he hasn't come after her sooner.
Yeah.
And the thoughts in her diary is very much like, oh, if he was going to come after me, he would have come after me by now.
We also find out not just through the diary, but him kind of like reflecting on what's happened over the 8 years. Like, she didn't come to see him at all in jail. Mm-hmm. He didn't hear from her until after he got out of jail, was when she started leaving drunk voice messages. And we find out that he wrote her letters all the time. She never answered. She never visited. He was so in his head. Like, why wouldn't she visit me? Why wouldn't she talk to me? What happened? What did I do wrong? Like, he's so focused on her.
He's obsessed.
He is. He's really obsessed. And, like, we even get thoughts of, like, maybe because when he fucked her and came in her, they had no protection.
Oh,
he thinks maybe she had a child and she didn't forgive him for this.
And he's like, I'll be a good dad for you, Olivia. I will change.
But then you also get thoughts like, no, like, how dare this child steal the attention of my sister? She's mine. He thinks of any scenario. And yeah, backtrack to the voice messages. When he gets out of jail, she sends him like messages like, where are you? Like, why wouldn't you come for me? I miss you, and all this stuff. And like, it's like, bro, you left him in jail to rot for 8 years after testifying against him. What do you expect? I don't get it.
They have an unhealthy obsessive relationship towards one another.
Oh yeah. You start to witness his type of crazy, like him breaking in, doing things to mess with her, leaving her gifts to freak her out, like eating her apples and stuff, like messing with her OCD. And then the wine thing, drugging her and bathing her and putting to bed and cuddling her without her consent. That's interesting. And he takes care of her. And as he's bathing her, she must moan or something in her sleep.
Oh, she moans his name.
Yeah. And this bit takes that as consent. So we get some somnophilia / dubious consent.
I wouldn't even say it's dubious consent. This is just rape at this point.
Yeah.
She's asleep.
Yeah, she's no control.
She doesn't even think there's another person in the room. But in Malachi's head, he thinks it's okay because in her journals, she's talked about wanting to try somnophilia before, and the fact that she moaned his name when she was sleeping.
Yeah.
He was very much like, I wanted her to be awake when I fucked her for the first time again, but
I've got to give my little sister what she wants.
Oh.
But Malachi is a gentleman because he still puts her to bed and cleans the house and takes out the rubbish.
Oh, and she still comes as well.
Yeah, what a gentleman.
He's crazy.
He's fucking nuts.
He's so crazy.
He's fucking nuts and I'm living for it.
Anyways, there's a Halloween party.
Yes.
Kristie, it's our favourite time of the year.
Horror girlies, unite.
Yes, so Olivia has been invited to a Halloween. Is it a party or it's like an event? It's a festival. Oh, even better. Is there a corn maze? Tell me there's a corn maze.
Yes, there is.
Stop it. It's one of our favourite subtropes. Corn maze.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Chase me.
I'm sorry, did you say masked man?
Say less.
They've obviously called Malachi out on his crazy, but Olivia is also fucked up because she's been eyeing off the cute guy that lives across the street, but she's only ever seen him wearing a helmet.
She doesn't even know he's cute. You can't see anything.
Olivia sees the masked man watching her. She goes across the street, invites him to the Halloween party. Like, girl, you've never even seen this guy's face before and you're inviting him to parties.
And gives
festivals.
him her number. Like,
yep.
Call me.
And Malachi...
No, you hang up.
Malachi is... I think he's got mixed feelings on the fact that Olivia is giving out her number to random men on the street.
Yeah, he's pissed. pissed.
But also just like, oh, Olivia's into me?
Oh, she's giving me her number? She thinks I'm cute?
Yes. It's this contrast and biting thoughts in Malachi's head. It was very well done.
Oh, yes.
But again, it's the crazy coming through, and I was just here for it. Olivia goes to the festival. She dresses as a bride, but all black.
Yeah.
So like a corpse bride or something.
Yeah, it's like a fuck you to her mum.
The audiobook cover here. Again, it's more cover art done by Zoe Maxwell, but it's actually them wearing their Halloween costumes. Malachi leaves her... He almost stands her up.
Yeah.
Olivia thinks that she's been ditched. This guy's not going to come. I should also point out as well that while Malachi was in jail, he did try to practice talking, but because he'd been mute for so long, it was a lot more difficult for him than he originally realised to, I guess, find his voice.
Yeah.
And so when Olivia had come across the street to talk to Malachi and invite him, he had to try and stumble his way through a small selection of words. So when Olivia asks, what's your name? He says his name is Kai. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's so original.
Yeah. Back to him trying to learn how to speak. His thoughts even around him trying to learn Olivia's name. Like his thoughts are kind of sort of... like, why the fuck would your mum name you Olivia, like 3 syllables? Like, he's trying to learn how to say Olivia, and it's like, O-liv-E-R. Like, he's struggling so hard with this, and this is all he wants to do. He just wants to be able to say her name.
Yeah. But he gets to the party late on purpose, to purposely keep her waiting. She's alone. She's been separated from her friends. It's getting late into the night.
He, like, comes up behind her and, like... I think he puts a screwdriver to her neck or something and says, you better run, little stranger.
Oh, yeah. So we even get the title of the book as well.
Which I fucking loved. And she runs through the corn maze and he chases her.
So here was the primal trope.
Through a corn maze, in a masked stranger with a weapon. Say less.
So, yes. We get this primal scene where Kai, masked Kai, is chasing Olivia through the corn maze, and he, of course, captures her. You might have been thinking, why did we get screwdriver as a content warning?
It's because when he captures her, he like tackles her, so she's on her front, and he sticks a screwdriver in her mouth and tells her to suck. And then he sticks it up her ass. He sticks the handle of the screwdriver up her butt.
Yep.
And she's here for it. She's fucking loving it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. And again, Malachi's thoughts on why are you so turned on by this, I thought was brilliant, because he was the one obviously delivering this punishment. But Olivia she was so into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Malachi, his thoughts on this whole scene, I loved. I seriously loved getting into Malachi's head. It was well done.
Insane.
He fucks her mouth, Screwdriver fucks her ass. After he comes, he drugs her and kidnaps her, taking her back to his cabin that he's actually purchased for the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Sweet but crazy. This is the sweet but crazy. She wakes up chained to like the roof of this cabin with a spread bar between her legs. She's still wearing her Halloween costume.
This is actually the scene that got me to read the book.
Oh, this was the scene?
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw the art piece for it, also done by Zoe, and I was like, ooh, that looks spicy. I'm interested.
Before we show you this artwork, spider warning? So, yes. Do we need to say any more to this image? She's tied up, she's chained, he's in his gas mask still. You can see that she's naked because he cut away her clothing with a knife. So we get a little bit of knife play happening as well. And if you look closely on her face, that's his pet tarantula.
Spiky.
Yeah. So we get spider play as well as a content warning here.
Yay!
This was next level.
So we also get another little scene that's a little bit fucked up, where he puts the spider on her and he whispers in her ear that it's a Bitsy Spider song in his creepy voice.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. Don't. Shaking. I was fucking terrified. That was something else. Like, there's just so many scenes in this where I was cringing. Like, where he cuts himself, like he's behind her and he cuts himself, and he uses his blood as lube to fuck her ass.
Oh,
and my only thought during this, it's so fucking bad, but blood is a natural lubricant, I guess.
No! No, this is how you get STDs! You know what? It's not the first time I have read of blood being used as a lubricant before.
I still cringe, but I didn't bat an eye.
Alright. Sure. I think this was the first time reading blood play in a dark romance that didn't have supernatural elements to it. Or paranormal elements to it. I know!
I took your virginity!
No! We're not putting it that way! Oh yeah, they fuck a lot.
Yeah, this man has his way with his little sister.
Oh.
He then cleans her and takes her to bed. He's now had his revenge. He just now wants to be happy with the girl he's obsessed with. And this is where he's not wearing his mask anymore. And Olivia wakes up, and lo and behold, she realizes it's Malachi, her big brother.
And then Malachi, I suppose, tells her everything that he's been doing the last 6 months. Confesses that he brought this cabin for the two of them to live in. But Olivia, she doesn't want that life. She doesn't want to live out here. She doesn't want to be with him. She's basically calling Malachi out for his delulu right now.
Yeah, I think in her head she's all like, someone with ASPD can't love. He could never love her like she wants.
And she's meant to get married.
Yeah, in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This fucking scene broke me. Like,
oh, yes! Because this is when we also get Malachi literally begging to Olivia, and all I could hear in my head, well, when I think back to this scene, all I hear now is Malachi going, pick me, choose me, love me, because I've also been watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy lately as well. Literally! Yes!
Oh, that fucking broke me.
And because she turned her back on him.
Yes! This man literally tells her everything, lays his heart out on the line for her. He just wants to stay together. But this chick just shuts him down. She is still...
Yeah, but it's understandable why as well.
Yes.
There is this book,
You're confused, aren't you?
I was so confused reading it and how I should have felt throughout it.
Yeah, because she's all like, she could never be with him. He's her brother. She can't back out of the marriage that her mum set up. It's wrong, blah, blah, blah. Back to him begging her and being like, choose me. Nobody ever chooses me. That fucking line. Reading the book, I cried. Listening to the book, this fucking broke my soul.
Yeah, 100%. And you think, how can Olivia turn away from that level of vulnerability?
Yeah.
But she calls a taxi and leaves. And this is actually where the book ends.
Yeah. We do get an epilogue where she goes through, she is going through with the marriage, sorry.
She hasn't seen or heard from Malachi in 2 weeks.
we find out so many things about this guy she's marrying and how he's a piece of garbage.
He's a piece of trash. He's literally only marrying her to have a woman at his control.
Yeah, like he changes her hair colour, makes her dye her hair blonde.
Says she needs to be on diet pills.
Sends weight loss programs. Tells her about how he's going to change how she looks. Like he's going to organise a boob job and a nose job. And she ends up confessing to her mum about this while she's getting ready for the marriage. She's like about to put the dress on. And her mum's just like, oh, well. Nothing I can do about it.
Yep, sorry. We've signed contracts and everything. We're stuck now. And I think after her mum leaves, her dad comes in and Olivia tries pleading her case to her dad. And her dad didn't know any of this. And was just like, I can help you out of this. We can help you out of this. There's got to be a way out of this. And I'm like, oh, I respected the dad for this, especially considering everything that happened between them in the past.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would have just liked the dad to have run off with her. Like, let's get you out of here. Let me save you. Because I think the dad also revealed that the mum had gone behind his back to sign the marriage agreement between the two families. He had no say in it at all. So again, it highlights the level of manipulation from the mother and how controlling she's been towards her entire family.
Yeah. Just before she walks down the aisle, she's like in the room by herself, trying to like calm herself down and get ready. But then we also get that scene where she's like, I don't know if you can hear me, Malachi. She doesn't know if there's cameras around, if he's still watching. And she's just like, save me. Like, it was a very Feyre and recent moment. I was just like yes. She's in the puffy dress, like she's begging for help, like don't make me go through with this marriage. Like, come on, come save her. But he doesn't.
But she can't go through with it. She cannot go through with it. She had this plan with her dad that once she was married, he would help get a divorce for the daughter. But she can't go through with it at all. So she literally gets to like the end of the altar right before the doors open, right before she's about to walk down the aisle, and she runs. She calls a taxi. She tells the taxi driver to go to the address for the cabin, and she gets there, pulls up in the taxi wearing a wedding dress. Malachi is standing out front of the cabin. I think he's doing repairs, but subtrope that I absolutely love. He's topless. He's got his grey sweatpants on that are hanging low on his hips. And of course he's just a little bit sweaty out in the sun. And I'm going to pretend that I didn't just remember that they're foster siblings again. But
yeah, it was hot.
She steps out. He's there. She's there. They run to each other. And
she confesses her love. And that she wants to be with him. She's sorry. Happily ever after, right? The book actually ends with telling her to run, little sister, and chasing her through the forest. So we get a bit of Primal again, which I loved. But Leigh Rivers, I fucking love you. I fucking love you.
That's right, because was it just for the audiobook? We got a bonus chapter.
We got a bonus epilogue. Thank you. Thank you so much. I needed it. I needed it. I didn't even know I needed it until I had it. So, picks up where we left off. She's in her wedding dress and heels, and she starts running. And Malachi picks up his handy-dandy screwdriver, and he chases her. He chases her through the woods. He captures her, puts her up against a tree, and
I mean, do we need to say any more?
He uses a screwdriver again.
I feel like sometimes I have a little bit of grievances when it comes to how authors decide to like end their epilogues and bonus chapters and things like that. But I enjoyed how Leigh Rivers concluded Little Stranger. It just felt like the story wrapped up beautifully, you know?
It was absolutely perfect. I know I'm definitely jumping into more Leigh Rivers. I've already added it to my TBR. She's got another series that's supposed to be more fucked up and darker.
Okay, now you have my attention.
Sadder. The Edge of Darkness series. So I'm actually going to be jumping into this next.
It's literally got darkness in the title.
Say less. I just can't wait to dive in. I cannot wait. I really loved her writing style.
Yeah.
So
Having only listened to the audio and I haven't actually experienced reading any of her writing, because obviously I have that little bit of bias listening to an audiobook where the narrators actually gave us a performance on these characters. Maybe I'll join you in reading The Edge of Darkness because I liked this story and I feel like I need to read more stuff by Leigh Rivers because, yeah, this story was something else.
Yeah. So, dear listeners, if you are looking for a book that will keep you hooked from start to finish, that is full of trigger warnings, taboo content, and will make you question your morals, Little Stranger is a must-read and an even bigger must-listen. And with that, we wrap up today's episode.
Thank you for tuning in, and I guess until next time, happy reading. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!